Hi, it's Paul from Wicked Acorn. Today we're talking about guitars, which is not usually what we do here at Wicked Acorn. Usually we do videos about Manchester things. So if you're not interested in guitars, maybe I was smart enough to put a link to our other videos about Manchester things. So please check those out. But today we're talking about guitars, and we're going to talk about this guitar that I bought yesterday. It is a Fender F-75 acoustic guitar. This is going to be a keeper, I think. So we're going to get in close and take a look at what's going on here. Needs a bit of work. Picked it up for less than 50 pounds. Let's get in close. All right, here she is. She's in pretty good shape. It's a Fender F-75 1974-5. I guess that's May 1974. I don't think that's a serial number. There's not much information on these guitars online, so I will try and tell you what I can find out. So you can see it's in pretty good shape. There's, a few dings and that kind of thing as you would expect on a guitar of this age. And the neck is dead straight, and there's no belly or dish. So it's in really good shape for a guitar of its age, really good shape. And I think this is going to be a keeper guitar, at least for a while. So it's rosewood back and sides. Looks like a two-piece back. It says in what little information I could find that it's a solid top, but I don't think it is. We'll get in a little closer. It's hard for me to get the camera to focus here with one hand. So we'll get in a little closer and have a look at all those things. And the bridge is way too low. I don't know if you can see that. It's way too low. Focus. There we go. Yeah, the bridge is way too low. But the neck is dead straight. It looks dead straight. There's a little bit of fret buzz there. A little bit of fret buzz. So I don't have any strings, so I'm going to try and resurrect these strings. This one has got the balls gone off the end of it. So I'll try and rig up something just to get this playable. I may just shim up the bridge just to get it playable, to see what we're working with. And we'll talk about it some more, and we'll get in close and see some more of it. And hopefully I can tell you more about it. That's the Fender logo from the 70s, from the, 74 obviously. The machine heads, tuners. So it's really in good shape. I mean, there's a few dings in the neck, but I've had a guitar 2 weeks that had a ding like that, unfortunately. It's in really good shape. So we're going to take the strings off, clean it up, and shim it up. Shim up that bridge. For now, I'll get another bridge and shape it and put it in. Now, I'm not a guitar tech. I just do work on my own guitars. So we're going to resurrect this one and see what we can get out of it. Well, I was looking for a coin to pop those pins out, but I don't have one. Use my pocket knife. Loosen them first. Well, I'm not a guitar tech. I'm just willing to do work on my own guitars. So I want to get these strings off so I can clean it up. I'm actually going to boil these strings. I don't have any strings to put on here at the moment. So we'll do the old boiling of the strings trick just for a bit of fun. These are okay. They don't seem brittle. They don't. Pop those out. We'll clean those up. They're all. It's got 40 odd years of gunk on there. Alright, that's step one. And this bridge is far too low. And we'll make the bridge a little higher. But I'm amazed that it can actually play, except for that first fret. I mean, you could play it. So you can get the action really low on this baby. Alright, so let's pause there. I'm going to boil up these strings for a laugh. Just because I don't have any to put on it right now. So I'm just going to get it playable. Okay, this is absolute foolishness. But I don't have a new set of strings to put on, so we're just going to boil these up for 4 or 5 minutes. Alright, that's been 5 minutes now. And as I said, this is absolute foolishness. But I can't make this situation any worse. I actually put some dish soap in there. I can't make this situation any worse. These strings are shot. And I don't have new strings to put on, so this is what we're going to do for the moment, just to maybe resurrect them a little bit. This does work for bass strings, but bass strings are a lot bigger and have bigger grooves between the windings. So you can resurrect your bass strings a bit with this boiling, but not so sure on guitar. But as I said, can't make this situation any worse. So let's get back to the guitar and clean it up a bit and see what we can do about that bridge. Yeah, I'm just going to put these bridge pins in some warm soapy water. See what that does for us. Just do what we can here today because I don't have the gear to fix this up. But you can see that bridge. I mean, if you know what a bridge looks like, it's really been filed down too much. So, clean this out a little bit. So, I think if I work at this, I could make it thin enough. But I'm going to try to cut a sliver off this old bank card and see if that will be enough, because the bridge is not sitting down in it enough. I should glue it to the bridge, but this is just a makeshift, make do, make it work. I just want to play a chord on the thing. Let's see if that will do. Yeah, it's amazing. That might actually do it, just that one bank card thickness. Stick them as they go so they go back in the same holes. Not that it matters. But that's the zen and the art of motorcycle madness. Be easier to clean these things up. I'll put that in with the bridge pins. You can see how much it's faded. My blonde 76 Telly is amazing. Maybe I'll show you that someday. I think it was probably what, Arctic White, I think was the name of the color. But it's turned completely yellow. It's a beautiful color now. But wow, look at that. Look at the difference in the color. Just take this one off so you can see. This is definitely not necessary. But I'm curious. And I'm not afraid. Yeah, not so much fading on the back. And these seem pretty good. Need to tighten up a few things. You don't want to make these too tight. There's a little plastic washer here usually. So you don't want to make it too tight, but you don't want them rattling around either, causing buzz. Those are pretty good. Don't know what kind they are. They're branded Fender. Okay, so we'll just clean all this up, take these bits off, and then we'll wash it down. Pressure wash it. Okay, I've got all the hardware off, and that's completely unnecessary. You don't have to do that, but anything worth doing is worth overdoing, right? You want to be careful. This is just soapy water I've got here I'm going to clean it with. But you want to be careful. If there are any cracks in the finish, you don't want that water and soap to get down in the into the wood through a crack. So there's a stain here. I'm wondering if that's going to come off, and it does. Scratch there. So you can see how much the headstock's faded here, because of course it was probably left out of its case, if indeed it ever did have a case. And this would have been the side facing out, obviously. But just look at that. Look at how much it's faded. It's almost like the truss rod cover is still there. So I'm just going to put a little oil on the front. That's a tiny bit. Just brighten them up. Condition the wood a little bit. Put it on the bridge as well. Some people do, some people don't. There's no right or wrong to this, I don't think. There's no fretwear. Very minimal fretwear. The neck itself has got no wear. So I don't think this instrument was played a great deal. I think it sat in the corner, unplayed, unloved. We'll fix that. There we go, I'll just let that sit and wipe it off again. Let it soak in a little bit. See how it brightens up the wood? Let's put a little on the bridge here just to condition it a little bit. Brighten it up a bit. Okay. So the nut fell off, which is not a big deal. Sometimes they're not glued on at all. I'm going to glue it back on. I'm just going to use a little dab of white PVA glue to hold it in place. You don't want anything other than that. White glue, nothing stronger than that. To show you how dirty they are. Not that it matters, it'll still work dirty, but I'll keep one as is and clean the other. Use some glass cleaner. Tighten up these screws. Again, you don't want them too tight. You don't want to squash that plastic, but you don't want the screw or the knob rattling around, making a buzz. So we'll clean those up and start to put those on. Clean and not clean. Again, it doesn't make your car go any faster, but maybe it does. So again, these ferrules or washers, whatever they're called, I just popped them out with a pen. Just pushed a pen through to pop them out. They weren't in tight, but they weren't falling out. So this one goes here, and you want to, if you do take these out, you do want to put these in before. Oh, that's the wrong one. There. Again, not that it makes a difference. So it will be centered properly. And the screws in the correct position. And just start them off first. Don't put them all the way in, because you may find it difficult to get the second one if you put the first one all the way in. Especially with like a pick guard or something. I'm going to put all the screws in loosely first and just snug it up. You don't want this rattling around. Give this a little tighten. There you go. So lather, rinse, repeat. Okay, she's all cleaned up. And all the hardware's back on. Let's see how our boiled strings taste. We got our little credit card shim here. So that's, I mean, you know how thick a credit card is. It's not very thick, is it? A millimeter, less than a millimeter. And our bridge will go like that. And that might be enough. Got a bit of a sitar on the go. Alright, so we've got to put it back together, and it's got 6 strings. And can't play any songs. Slipping it. Heck, the ball was gone off the high E string, so I had to twist it back together. So it's, but it sounds like a guitar, and it's a very nice out of tune guitar. It's pretty bright. These strings are very light. They're too light for me. But it's quite bright for old dead strings. So we'll get some, I mean, you can never tell sound-wise if anything's any good. You know, I've got a little shotgun mic there, like people described their microphones and stuff. I don't know what kind of mic it is. So we'll just revisit this project, because I got to get it put back in the case and hidden away, because this is actually going to be a Christmas present for my daughter. But it is a really beautiful guitar for a 1974 instrument. It's in immaculate shape for something so old. I don't think you could get one in better shape. There's a few dings and scratches, but I got a lot more dings and scratches than this guitar does. So we'll come back and we'll talk about this guitar and put some new strings on. Need to fix a new bridge and a new nut. The nut was actually too low as well, so we can fix that up. I'll just get a new nut, and we'll install that and fix it up. So I'm pretty impressed. So we'll talk about this guitar. I'll try and find out more about it. I remember it from my childhood. A friend of mine, his mother had one, and I remembered it when I saw it on online for sale. I jumped at it because I remembered it was a much better guitar than any of us had. So I'll probably put a strap post on here as well. So it's in really good shape, and we'll come back and we'll talk about, I'll find out what I can and tell you more about it, because there's not much information online about this guitar. So I'll compile it into one video, so if you want to know something about these guitars, you can find it here. Fender F-75. Okay, see you in the next one.